Collective, hear me. Okay. I'm picking up on the energy of missed opportunities. Okay. Some of us are upset, disappointed, okay, that type of energy right now, because there are a lot of things that is being presented to you, collective, and follow me when I say this. Yes, exactly. Realizations about yourself. There are a lot of things that's coming to surface, okay, and we're not so comfortable with that right now. I think for some of us, we're still really honing in on our energy and grounding ourselves in our energy. There's a level of exhaustion here. Okay. And collective, hear me when I say that. Some of us are missing opportunities. Some of us are missing opportunities. It's like you asking for it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example here, collective, and hear me when I say, and resonate with it if you are, that when you are asking for something, when you pray for something, when you're wishing on something, okay, it's like, be careful what you wish for, because you may never know what you are alchemizing here, collective, okay? And for some of you guys, I'm getting that there's a missed opportunity here, okay? There's a missed opportunity here because perhaps whatever it was that you had asked for, collective, okay, now it's coming to you. For some of you, it's right in front of your face. It's being handed to you. Here you go. This is what you asked for. Now you shall receive. And so this thing that you had asked for, collective, an opportunity now that you can take, but you may not be one in the position ready to take that. Although you had asked for it and although you had wished upon it, it's like you still have to make some, I'm hearing, decisions. There's still a lot, I'm hearing, compromise, and to even recognize for yourself that while now this thing is being presented to you, it's now in front of your face, it's almost like you can't, there's a resistance here, collective. I'm getting that there is this big realization, okay, your consciousness is expanding here, grounding yourself so much in your power, but not so much in your power, but it's this thing that you're demanding within yourself, right? It's a very strong belief of yours, collective. Hear me when I say this. You're having to really find your, in this case, for some, direction. Yes. For some, it's really having to honing in in your power. And you having to really feel empowered and really having to hone in your power and really knowing this and how to ground yourself in it. And I think you're finding yourself in it, right? And so as you are also finding yourself at the center of that, collective, and hear me when I say that there may be some things that you're just not okay with, because you're seeing it with so much more clarity this time, right? And for some, this is a relationship ending, a situation ending, and you're using your discernment in this case, you're in this situation, and you're going to yourself, best to maybe detach myself from this habit, best to maybe, change some things about myself, a habit, a cycle, a pattern, something. You are that person wanting to break that cycle, wanting to break that pattern. You're very much aware of wanting to break that cycle. For some, it's like you don't even have to try because your energy is doing it for you, collective. 444. It's like this energy of you having to alchemize. You're alchemizing something here. And like I said earlier, to be careful in what you wish for, because You may never know what you're alchemizing, or you may never know what you're attracting at this point, okay? Because you had asked for something, and now that it's facing you in the face, now that it's right in front of your face, all these cards came out. I'm not going to take them though. You don't know what to do with it. For you, for some of you, it's a gift. For some of you, this is something you've been asking for, and now that it's in your face, you're just like, I don't know what to do with it. And you know why you don't? Look, alchemy, bottom of the deck. Number 8 also could be very significant. It's a repeated cycle. That one is breaking. While some, you are still very much in a place of healing that part of you, collective. I think that is where the disappointment is coming from. I feel like that's where some of us are feeling upset, disappointed, because some situations with certain people that you thought would work out did not work out, okay? Either that type of situation, or it's something that you had wished for and now it's facing you and you're going, I don't know what to do with this. And I thought that in asking for this or wishing that I can have this, that it would change, right? Perhaps it is changing something about somebody. It's just like a catalyst stepping into your life and giving you a fresh new perspective and then opening you up to something. It's working out just like that for some of us. That perhaps the reason why you're disappointed is because you're seeing it clearly now and it wasn't what you thought it was in your mind. And now that you are now in this energy of healing that part of yourself, that cycle, that pattern, whatever it is, you're realizing it with so much more clarity, collective. And for some of you guys, this is really healing your stomach. I'm hearing completely. You're feeling the difference. That's beautiful. You're feeling the difference in your tummy. Okay. There has been also a lot on IBS as well. Okay, I'm picking up on that. Irritable bowel syndrome is, I think, what it is. Something about the stomach, something about the gut, and our digestive system, if you will. Okay, and for some of you guys, you're healing a lot on what's going on in your stomach. You know this, okay, more than anyone. For some, like, you went to the hospital and got checked for it, okay, and you are now seeing progression in your digestive system. Okay, that's beautiful. The upset, the disappointment, collective, this comes from discomfort that we're feeling, stepping out of our comfort zone. And in doing so, it is like you having to feel for the first time. And you're going, I don't feel like this is normal, when it actually is. Because perhaps your heart chakra is opening up. And for some, that's not an easy moment to tackle, okay, to ground yourself in. The best, I feel, for us at this time, okay, yes, balance and using our discernment, okay. It's an even deeper perspective, collective. This is what I'm getting. It's like an even deeper discernment of the self. Because it comes with a lot of honesty and clarity. I heard that loud and clear just now. Clarity. You know, when one is waking up to something for the first time, it really becomes overwhelming for that person, okay? Especially when they have put themselves in a perception where they're deceiving themselves. Does that make sense? And now they're stepping out of this self-deceiving place, and they're really seeing things for what it truly is. Perhaps they're really seeing things for who they truly are. that this whole time they were deceiving themselves, and now I'm going to have to face the truth about myself. That's not an easy realization for one to have. It is a moment of awakening. And sometimes a moment of awakening can last a lifetime, forever. How long have I been sitting on this chair, thinking about the same thing over and over and over and over again in a loop? That while one is having a realization, that realization, it literally is like that. It just keeps expanding. I had one realization and then another one and another one and another one, and it just keeps on growing. And now you're at the center of all these realizations, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't feel normal. I don't think I'm me, myself right now. I don't know if I'm acting like myself, being myself right now. In fact, you may be one right now thinking to yourself, I don't even know who I am anymore. 11:11. This is what healing does to our body. More importantly, it makes a huge impact on our mind. Wow, I'm following the rhythm here, 11:22. I also had seen 33, 44, and 55 in that order. Okay, it was 133, 144, and then 155. Some of y'all are really getting into your alignment as you are speaking so much of your truth, 11:44. I feel like for some of us, you're not holding back. You're not holding back when you're speaking your truth. And I think this is what is opening a lot of us up to new doors, new opportunities. Remember what I said earlier about some of us are missing opportunities? For some of you that are missing all these opportunities, it's because you're not opening your heart up for it. Like it's being presented to you, but you are hesitant to open your heart for it. Therefore, not really seeing it for what it truly is. And I feel like this is where spirit comes in and tries to kill our ego and pride. Does that make sense? They try to kill our egos. For some of us, your ego is hurt. Your ego is so hurt because you have put yourself in a perspective and you stayed in that perspective and not giving yourself an opportunity to look at things in a different way. So perhaps you may be experiencing something in your life right now, and you may be actually questioning yourself. I don't even know why I'm going through this. And it's because it's killing your ego. And it's supposed to. Perhaps this is a person in your life who's doing this, who's killing your ego, but not in a bad way, right? Like not intentionally try to go after you, but it's how they are being around you, and your energy is responding to their energy. Your energy, and while your energy is responding to their energy, it's killing your ego. It's healing it. It's giving it balance. That it's supposed to hurt your ego a little bit. It's supposed to hurt your ego a little bit. This is where the realization comes from. Because perhaps for a lot of us, you have been in your ego way too much. That you need to literally be like punched in the face. You literally had to be like shaken up. Your temple had to be shaken up. You might have had a recent tower moment, okay? Because it needed to shake your temple. And in doing so, okay, it shook your temple so much that it hurt your ego. Somebody said something. There was an encounter. Somebody said something. Somebody had mentioned someone, and it hurt your ego. That moment was supposed to happen, collective. It was supposed to hurt your ego because you have been too much in your ego that you had to get knocked out to really see it with clarity. That perhaps you weren't supposed to stay in letting your ego drive you, collective. You weren't supposed to stay and letting your ego drive you. You were supposed to have an encounter. Spirit stopped it, demanded it. You were supposed to have an encounter, and that person or that thing, that place was supposed to trigger you and hurt your ego. And then that's when the healing started. Whoa! That's when the healing started. In killing your ego. It had to be killed first for something to come to life, collective. That is a very heavy message for some of us, okay? It's a moment of appreciation. That when one's ego get hurt, okay, that was supposed to be a moment of appreciation, a moment of gratitude, a moment of like seeing things from a bigger perspective and not just staying in the perspective that you were in because that's what you were used to, collective. But you see, our collective is doing a lot of this, and perhaps maybe alchemizing a lot too at the same time. It's a matter of having to shake our temple to get us back in order. It's a matter of having to kill one's ego to maybe push that person to look at things in a different way and maybe even in a more positive way. Because the ego needed to be killed, the purpose for that was to get this person to see things in a brighter, more with light, and not so much in the darkness, or not. There had to be some kind of balance, okay? That while one is, you know, when one is depressed, they're always just like slouching and like looking down, never looking up, right? It's kind of like that. When you're always looking down, you're in one perspective and you're seeing things, the same things every day, right? But then when you give yourself an opportunity to lift your head and to look up and to look around you, it's like, oh, now I'm seeing things in a different way. Oh, now I have a bigger perspective. I have a bigger way of looking at things, the world, and people. This is what's healing us, collective. This is what is healing us all together, all of us at once. That perhaps you needed to be shaken. Your temple needed to be shaken. Your temple needed a maintenance. And in having that tower moment and having to kill that ego and having to kill that shame inside of you and having to forgive yourself and having to mend that guilt, that resentment that you're feeling inside of you, that's the point. You were supposed to kill that. I keep going back to missed opportunities. I had mentioned in one of my reels, okay, I had mentioned that not a lot of us right now are looking to love, okay? Not a lot of us are looking for love because not a lot of us thinks that we are worthy of love, okay? And it's the same thing with missing this opportunity. It's the same thing in having to receive this opportunity. It's like one is resisting, one is hesitating, although one had wished upon it, and although one had asked for it, now that it's being presented to them, it's like they don't even know how to receive it. They don't even know how to, I don't know what to do with you. I keep getting that, okay? This is somebody's missed opportunity that can really change things up, but because one is resisting and having to receive this, that also comes with a lot of healing, I think. It really is opening us up so that we can get better, back in order. But you see, it's the chaos before order. And for some, we stop at the chaos and then we quit, we give up. And sometimes the very thing that we need to do is to just let go and let it be, while your body is healing itself and fixing itself and correcting itself, while our Mine is trying to come back in order and on track, right? I think I'm getting a lot collective on where we have been in our mind. It's hard for one to come together with another because it's like two different timelines, two different worlds coming together, emerging together. That's a sacred energy to honor that a lot of us are not doing anymore when it comes to dating, when it comes to getting together and committing. There's no common ground. There isn't a place where the two can come together in this. That one is really missing out on an opportunity and really resisting this opportunity because perhaps they haven't really given that part of themselves love or even compassion, that one cannot see others' compassion because one has to see it for themselves first. That one cannot see somebody's unconditional love because they have to give it for themselves first. That when I'm not giving you love, you're more than likely feeling the hate from me to you. That when I'm not showing you love, the other person can respond to that with, this person doesn't like me. So when one doesn't love oneself, how is that person going to show love to the other? It's like the healing has to come in first. The healing has to be there first before you're able to really love. And that's so powerful because I think it's the love that we are resisting from people, collective, because we don't know how to love ourselves. I was just talking to my Uber driver last night about it. We started talking about the pandemic and how the pandemic shaped the collective's mindset coming out of isolation. And it had made a powerful impact in our mind. That when we have become isolated for way too long, we lose connection, and it's almost like we don't know how to come back and having to interact again with human beings, and even trying to, be willing to be with somebody, or finding a partner, right? Or having to find that opportunity to have something with somebody. I think there's this push and pull our collective is doing, resisting on receiving some things. We're having to push and pull because we're confused right here. And because this is happening. And sometimes this can look like a mess. This can look like somebody having, for the whole season, I'm just going to stay in bed, or I'm going to stay in, not talk to anybody. It's that kind of season for somebody. Somebody's going, I'm healing a lot, and I deserve to have this time to heal. At the same time, you having to have all these realizations about the self that you never thought you had in you. It is our way of reconnecting. Okay? And let's just use the pandemic for an example. Okay? This is us reconnecting after a long period of being in isolation, long period of being on lockdown. Okay? And that really messed up our way of living. And the same way as also having to find a partner, same way having to find a healthy partner you can trust, okay? It is us having to reconnect with ourselves first, and then reconnecting back to the rest. One is really going through it. One is really going through it. And that chaos they're feeling inside, they need to really face that first before everything comes back into normal, everything comes back in order. That while one is experiencing chaos internally, collective, hear me when I say this, because I feel like this part is important, that while one is experiencing chaos internally, you're at the same time alchemizing here. I'm hearing to transmute that. And this is how we come in more into consciousness and then coming back to reconnecting with the rest. Thank you, Spirit. A reminder that while we are in this process of healing, okay, know that you're alchemizing at the same time, but also know that what comes with healing, you know, it's an understanding, it's an even deeper understanding of the whole itself. Number 44 could be significant. I'm going to end it here, collective. I love you guys so much. If you would like a mini read, I will, I have all of my information down in the description box below. You guys can hit me up. I will see you guys in the next, and thank you for tuning in to another. My name is Kimber. Love and peace. Take care.